Once upon a time in the village of Obadike, the people were guided by ancient customs and traditions passed down through generations. Their ruler, Iguiobina, was a strong, revered leader who upheld these values with uncompromising resolve. His daughter Eduora was beautiful, wise, and beloved by all for her kindness and dedication to her heritage. But Eduora harbored a secret that threatened to upend her family and her village. Since childhood, Eduora had been in love with Ikenna, a humble craftsman known for his skill and integrity. Ikenna came from a family cast out of the royal court years ago after his grandfather was accused of a betrayal that nearly led to the village's downfall. Though Ikenna's family was shamed and marginalized, he had risen above the stigma to become an honorable young man. But because of the enmity between their families, Eduora and Ikenna's love was forbidden. Their bond, however, had only grown stronger in secrecy. Each night, under the light of the moon, they met by the old Irako tree on the outskirts of the village. It was a place that had become their sanctuary, a haven where they could share their dreams and plan for a future together that seemed increasingly impossible. For Eduora, Ikenna was not merely a lover but a refuge from the weight of her royal duties. And for Ikenna, Eduora was a symbol of hope, a connection to a better life. One evening, as they embraced beneath the ancient tree, Ikenna whispered, "Eduora, let us run away. We can start anew, away from the shadows of our families." But Eduora hesitated, her heart torn. She knew that abandoning her family would bring shame upon her father, her people, and herself. More than that, she feared the wrath of her ancestors, who, according to their beliefs, watched over the village and would be unforgiving toward betrayal. Their private world came crashing down one fateful morning. Iguiobina announced that Eduora was to marry Izenwa, a fearsome warrior from a neighboring village. Izenwa was powerful, and the marriage was meant to secure an alliance that would strengthen both tribes. This union was politically vital, and as the Igui's only daughter, Eduora's marriage was her duty to her people. As the news spread, Eduora's heart shattered. She found herself torn between her duty and her love for Ikenna, who was heartbroken but encouraged her to follow her duty. Yet she sensed the pain in his eyes, the anguish of their impossible love. In the following weeks, the village prepared for Eduora's wedding. She was adorned in beautiful coral beads and elaborate body art, all symbols of her status and the honor she was bringing to her family. Yet, Eduora felt the weight of each piece like a chain, binding her to a fate she did not want. On the eve of the wedding, she slipped away to meet Ikenna one last time. Standing by the riverbank under the moonlight, they held each other in silence, knowing these would be their final moments together. Eduora wept, torn between her love for him and the duty she was bound to uphold. As dawn approached, they said their final goodbyes. The day of the wedding was grand, filled with singing, dancing, and laughter. But Eduora's heart was absent. Izenwa, oblivious to her grief, looked at her with pride. The entire village celebrated, seeing only the union that would bring security to Obadike. But as the wedding ceremony reached its climax, Eduora suddenly froze. She was asked to make an oath before the village and the ancestors, swearing her loyalty and love to Izenwa. In that moment, images of Ikenna flashed before her eyes. She thought of their secret meetings, their laughter, their shared dreams, and the sacrifice he had made in urging her to follow her duty. With a trembling voice, she began to speak, but her words faltered. Unable to bear the weight of the lie, she broke down and confessed her love for Ikenna, stunning the villagers and the royal family. Gasps filled the air as she fell to her knees before her father, pleading for his forgiveness but standing firm in her love for Ikenna. Iguiobina, enraged and humiliated, could not believe his daughter's defiance. He ordered Ikenna to be brought forth and, in a rage, declared that he would banish them both. But the villagers, moved by Eduora's bravery and Ikenna's honor, began to murmur among themselves. Elders approached Iguiobina, appealing to his wisdom and urging him to see that Eduora's love for Ikenna was a powerful bond that should not be punished. Iguiobina, known for his strictness but also his fairness, relented. He decreed that Eduora and Ikenna could marry, but they would have to live away from the royal family, building their lives anew in the outskirts of the village. Years passed, and Eudora and Ikenna built a modest but happy life together. Though their love had caused a rift within the royal family, it also inspired a change in Obadike. People began to see that love and honor could coexist, that the weight of tradition did not always have to crush individual happiness. In time, Igwe visited his daughter, witnessing the peace and prosperity of her new life. Touched, he accepted them both back into the village. Their love had been a path of betrayal and redemption, a sacrifice that had broken but ultimately healed. And so, in Obadike, the tale of Eudora, the Igwe's daughter who chose love over duty, became a legend, forever inspiring generations that followed.